Hey y'all, it's your girl Barbie J here. Welcome to my channel, June BLC. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's comedy drama, SISTAS, Season 9, Episode 7, Cutting Ties. And the synopsis for this episode reads, Zack and Karen bond as they reflect on their complicated past. Tamara gives Hayden a brutal wake-up call. And Maurice and Paige take Sabrina out on the town to find a new man. Now I'm going to tell y'all, this was a good episode to me. The reason this was a good episode because of the two favorite parts that I love. That scene with Zack and Karen was fire. They played the mess out of their parts, from the tears and the emotions and the words. I mean, I was drawn in with all of that. It was so real. It was so, I was there for it. Even though it was making me sad and I don't like it, the actors, those two, did their part with the tears and the snot and the, I'm sorry, the looks that Karen is a phenomenal actor. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Ebony Obsidian is a phenomenal actor, and anybody who don't give her props is full of crap. Okay, I can tell you that much right now. The other scene that I liked that made my day was with Maurice and Paige taking Sabrina out and trying to teach her to be a hoe. I mean, at the club, all of that. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. The different men that were coming up there to talk to her, and Maurice is making all these signals and signs. Not him. Don't drink that drink. Don't do this. Don't do that. Because I guess he was thinking something was in the drink. But anyway, that was wonderful. And then to see Paige dressed up, and then she out there rapping to talking to some black dude. I was like, look at Paige meeting people. I was like, oh my God. They was definitely the comic relief in this episode. So that's what made it so great. But like I said, I'm trying to play catch up. So I'm giving y'all a quick snippety review, breakdown, synopsis, summary, whatever I'm going to do. I'm doing something quick. So I'm trying to keep it under 12 minutes, but let's see if I can do it because I just wasted 2.5 right now. But before we get started, if you are new here or if you are returning and have not subscribed to this channel as of yet, please take a moment right now and hit that subscribe button. Then I ask that you hit the notification bell and select all. It'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button, which is the thumbs up button. Write a comment and join the conversation. Give us your 2 cents, and then share the video because sharing is caring, and you want to help a sister build her channel back up because I know I had it back up before and I fell off with things that was going on in my life, and I'm just trying to get back there. So I'm going to have to say this for every video I do. Anyway, this episode starts off how the last one ended with Zack arriving at Karen's door and her letting him in, and it leads to them having what I feel is a much needed conversation in her kitchen. And Karen is still grieving the loss of one of her twins, which is the baby she carried with Zack, Forever Taylor. And they talk, and Zack comforts her, and he even goes and holds the surviving child, Faith, which is Aaron's daughter. But what is Aaron's last name? What is Faith's last name? Because we know the one that the stillborn was Forever Taylor. But do we know what Aaron's last name is and what Faith's last name is? I was just curious about that. If anybody knows, please put that down in the comment section. But I think that moment of Zack holding Faith and saying she was beautiful and stuff, that was marking like an emotional breakthrough for both of them. Because Karen was looking at him like, what is he doing holding her? I can't even hold her. It seemed like that to me. But then when Aaron came and got her because Zack couldn't put her to sleep, shush her, Aaron came and got her and left out. He asks Karen, Now, can we have a real conversation? And he lets her know, asks, are you okay? Which is something he got tired of Fatima saying to him. But he said it and he realized it when it came out of his mouth. But for him to recognize that something's up with Karen because she didn't flinch when that baby was crying and didn't go over there, and the words that he gave her, the advice that she needs you, you don't stay stuck here. You know, you could grieve, you could scream, you could holler, you do whatever, but don't stay stuck here. You know what I mean? And I just thought that was so powerful that he saw that. And then they started reminiscing. I don't think they had to play all the different pictures and stuff, the videos of different scenes. They could have just talked about it and reminisced that way, but you know, so be it. But I gotta say, there was one thing that he said that struck me strange. He said, I appreciate you, Karen. You helped me grow up. And I'm sitting there going, did she really help him grow up? I was just wondering because I know in the past we've heard him. Didn't Zack give Fatima credit for helping him become a man? So I guess growing up and becoming a man are two different things. I don't know. Put that down in the comment section for me, y'all. Whoever, I'm open to hearing whatever the people have to say. And then I didn't like that Aaron was listening to their conversation on the baby monitor. He didn't even have to have it to his ear. Why did they have him having it to his ear listening? So you eavesdropping on their whole conversation. You had it in your hand all this time until Karen said, well, Zack said, I got Fatima, and Karen said, and I have Aaron. And she gonna try to make it work with him. And he puts it down. I was like, that is so immature to eavesdrop on their conversation. I didn't like that. We also see in this episode that Fatima is struggling, you know, with Zack's emotional distance as he's reconnecting with Karen. He's not connecting with her, you know, and I don't know what to make out of this. You know, maybe because it was the baby together. But Karen did make a comment. She did say something about, this is it. You know, we're no longer attached. So it sounded like she had been trying to hold on to him for a while. So I'm going to ask y'all again, for anybody who's watches or listens to this entire video. Do you think Karen's grieving would have been different or less painful if it was Aaron's baby that was stillborn versus Zack's being the one? Like she would still have that connection to Zack. Does anybody think it would have been any different for her? Put it down in the comment section for me if you think so. But anyway, as we all see, this episode was focusing on Zack and Karen's emotional reunion as they were reflecting on their troubled past and trying to find some form of closure, or should I say, some cutting ties with the pain that they're both dealing with. This is so weird. Why am I just now realizing what the cutting ties really meant? Because it's basically showing us the difficult decisions that, you know, all of the characters are facing in their relationships, you know, basically having to cut ties. They're having the difficulties in moving on, and maybe some of their bonds are just too tangled to ever be untied. You know what I mean? So they're all making these hard choices about their relationships, trying to cut them. So there was Sabrina. There's what's going on with Zack and Karen. We have Andy. All of them is got some stuff going on. Anyway, in this episode, we see that Andy is having a little romance or relationship building with Dr. Vaughn. It seems like something's developing here, but she's remaining hesitant and being open and sharing this information with the girls. I don't know why she lied about it, because they were supposed to be there hanging out with Karen, and then she lied and said she had an important business thing to do and left and met him at Billy Jake's. So what's that all about? Why is she lying to her girls and not being honest? This is how she starts becoming messy, you know? We also see Andy confront Fatima about her work, you know, saying she's looking over those contracts for basketball players. And I don't understand what Fatima's doing. Why is she not being honest and telling Andy what's going on? Oh, you were busy and stuff like that. Why they have Fatima being a scattered brain something? She's losing her professionalism because she kept saying, I'll have to talk to Miss Barnes first. She told all the players that. But meanwhile, she's telling Andy, I was trying to help out. No, tell her what's going on. She is your boss. When did you start getting messy like this? And then with Andy's little shady comment, this would be great, practice when you pass the bar. I said, oops, no, she didn't. But then again, I said, yes, she did. Next, we see Tamara confronting Hayden. She shows up at the law firm and delivers him a brutal wake up call, which is definitely a turning point in their relationship and in this storyline because we're thinking maybe she's leaving the show. If anybody knows if Tamara's supposed to be leaving the show, put it down in the comment section, okay? But she told him she's tired. This doesn't make sense, their relationship. And basically she's done. And she had I think it was a valid point she said, because she was wondering when one of them was going to snap or when and how he was going to get back at her. And he's like, I'm not trying to get back at you. She said, you say that now. She kept saying, you say that now. But she said, what's going to happen when you think about me and Gary together? And he's like, whatever, he didn't want to hear it, but she was like, I'm done. And he got mad and started calling her names and everything, and you ain't this without me. And she said, there it is. And he proved her right. There it is. That quick, he changed on her and snapped. But Tamara's the same Tamara because she came through that door at the law firm and saw Chaz, and she was already writing her number down and trying to hook up with him, talking about she broke up with Hayden already 10 minutes in 10 minutes or something like that. I was like, okay. But she was working that dress, y'all. Tamara was working that dress and her hair. She was looking good. And then even later on, she confronted Fatima in the parking garage. Fatima's like, you almost got yourself shot. What's wrong with you? And she said she came to say bye. She's apologizing for the way she behaved, and then try to get Fatima to support her business with her hair business. Fatima's like, yeah, whatever. I accept your apology. There's no kumbaya moment here. Be gone, she said, because I don't even care. And then the last part or scene that I'm going to talk about is something I already mentioned earlier, and that was at Billy Jake's with with Maurice and Paige and Sabrina. Because what's happening here is Sabrina is embracing her new single life, as you want to call it. And so Maurice and Paige take her out to Billy Jake's to help her find a new man, or just a temporary hookup or something to take her mind off of Rich so that she can, move on. And so she's being encouraged by Maurice to have a new normal, which was last episode, and explore the world of casual dating or hookup or whatever you want to call it. But that scene at Billy Jake's was a mix of like comical and awkward moments as Maurice and Paige was acting like her judges and stuff, telling her which guy to date and which one not to. Don't drink that, don't do that. And then we see Dr. Vaughn. Dr. Vaughn is there and he's sitting there looking at his watch because he's waiting on Andrea Barnes. That's who he's waiting on. But when they finally see a good guy for Sabrina, who she happened to meet, this older dude, they're flirting. He's flirting with her and stuff. And who walks in but Rich? And Rich sees that and he is not happy about it. And it went off just like that. So y'all let me know down in the comments section what you thought about this episode. And I will see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Subscribe, please. Like, please. Comment, please. And share, please. Because you want to help a sister's channel grow. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.